Hi everyone, it's time for this week's edition of the Roar Report, and we are looking at the week of October the 31st through November the 4th, and we're going to start off with one of my favorite days of the whole year, which is Halloween. That will be celebrated this Monday, October the 31st, and just as a reminder, we are encouraging staff and students to dress up. There are a few rules. Those got mailed home in last week's progress reports, but just as a reminder, all bodies need to be covered from the top of the armpits to the bottom of the fingertips when your arms are resting just naturally at your sides. We are asking that there be no full face mask. We do need to see who's in the building. Also, no real or pretend weapons. Nothing that is violent in nature, no drugs, alcohol, those kinds of things. If your kids have any questions, you can always look on this Roar Report, and there's guidelines down here on the paperwork if you scroll down a little bit farther after this video. Other things happening in the building this week. We have a zombie run happening, which is our big fundraiser that we do each year. We are trying to raise $10,000 to go out and build and maintain community fitness trails. It's a pretty wonderful thing. All fundraising money is due Tuesday, November the 1st, and the actual run will happen the afternoon of Thursday, November the 3rd. It's always a really fun day. We encourage all of our kids to participate. In fact, we've set a building goal of $10,000, but individual students, we're saying if you get 30 bucks, we're going to be good to go. So that's very exciting. And then on Wednesday, November the 2nd, our 7th graders are heading to a salmon watch, and they just head up Chance Road to Lawrence Pond or Lawrence Drift. I've heard it called two different things. Anyway, just up Chance Road. It is supposed to be really wet, windy, blustery that day. There is no shelter up there, so kids need to come prepared to get wet. They need to also bring a lunch with them unless they've already ordered one from school. It is probably a good idea for kids to bring an extra change of clothes for when they get back to the school, and maybe like a garbage bag or something, or a plastic bag to put those like wet clothes in before they head out for the day. Otherwise, you can get a little uncomfortable if you're just sloshing around. Other things happening. Let's see. You know what? We have something really exciting happening, and I actually have a guest speaker here to talk to us. I'm going to introduce to you my second ever guest on the Roar Report. Come on in. She's been waiting patiently in the wings. Everyone, this is Mrs. Sage. Hi, Mrs.
Hi
Sage.
there. How are you?
Good, good. Why don't you tell us what you're here for today?
All right. Well, I'm here to promote National Career Development Month, which is happening next month in November. And so as part of that, we do something called Futures. It used to be called Futures Friday, but you guys know we don't have all the Fridays, so we're just calling it Futures. And this is a program that is developed for our 8th graders mostly. We will be going into some 7th grade classrooms a little bit later. And we're looking at pathways for our students. So part of my job is activities director, but also career and educational support. So I'm going in, I'm guest speaking in the different core classes to talk to students about high school and kind of preparing them for registration, and then also looking at pathways to becoming an independent adult. And so we're going to be looking at trade schools and college and internships, externships, certificate programs, scholarships, you name it. We're going to be looking at all of those pieces to support our students in looking forward and getting ready to make some of those decisions in high school that might lead them to a career path. We'll also be doing some career exploration towards the end of the school year. So I'm really excited about that.
That makes a lot of sense. But I mean, it's a great program that you do, and I appreciate that this is like what you're passionate about.
I'm very passionate.
It does seem like this is what we're here for, folks. We are trying to get our students ready to launch, not just from us to the high school, but once they leave the high school, on to being productive members in the community. And Mrs. Sage and I were talking about this yesterday. Like, I think we have 360 some students in the building right now, and that means that at the end of their senior year, there are going to be 360 different ways that you can do life. And I really appreciate that we're just kind of starting to plant those seeds. I know parents are always talking about those things at home, and now we can kind of support that. And I love that there are so many different avenues that kids can look at.
Today was our first day, and we had so many students who are like, this is where I want to live, this is what I think I want to do, and every single one was very different, and some had no idea, and some were like, this is my plan. So we get to meet all of those students at the place and help them develop whatever it is that they're interested in.
Wonderful. Okay, well, if you guys didn't hear, that was Mr. Dixon outside the door, not realizing we're making a video. But that actually makes me think about the last thing that I should have talked about, which is that Wednesday, November the 2nd is the last day to sign up for boys basketball. So Mr. Dixon just makes me think athletics, and I thought, oh, I should probably add that on here. So it's not too late if you haven't already signed up. Everyone, I hope you have a fabulous weekend. It is a great time to be a Lion.